leadership at Tennessee State University. What can you say about that leadership over the long period of time that you dealt with it?
Well, yes, because each of the chapters deal with the presidencies, which was convenient to divide the book up that way. And it interprets how they acted, you know, in leading the institutions. All of them down to today, including the acting presidents, have done a great job in leading Tennessee State under the circumstances, because these men, and now the first woman, have been placed in the most difficult of positions by state leaders, officials, governors, and so on. And I've used the governor's papers and state official papers to get behind the scenes to find out why this happened, why decisions were made, what did they do to this president, why did this president do that, the things that the public would not understand unless they read this book.
And so you're revealing quite a bit of information in terms of some of the inner workings and some of the intrigue in reference to some of the...
As you are a historian, you know, we historians are taught that the objective of history is ascertained through the facts, the absolute truth, as far as you can get
truth
to the
and
truth.
Nothing but the truth.
That's correct.
And
so the book doesn't pull any punches.
Very good. And of course, Dr. Lovett, not only have you done quite a bit of work dealing with this book, but there's also, over the last 2 minutes that we have here, there's also another book that you're working on and that you anticipate putting out soon. Why don't you make some statements?
Well, the book that has just come out in November of 2011 is the book on the history of the HBCUs. It's titled America's Black Colleges and Universities. And that is to bring together for the first time a comprehensive narrative of all of these institutions that existed before the Civil War, but most of them, of course, were created after the Civil War, including Tennessee State University is mentioned in that particular book.
And that's a great contribution, because what you're able to do is to start at the very, very beginning of the period after the war and talk about what we call historical black colleges and all the different...
Well, the book starts in 1837 when the first college for blacks was established, and it goes up to 2011.
And so you're able to capture all of that information in one volume of information.
Very difficult to do,
but it's a lot of information, and it's a very worthy kind of project, because most of us know of the historical black colleges and et cetera, but many of us simply started at Fisk, somewhere during that area, but you're pointing us back at an earlier period. Why don't you make some statements in reference to that earlier period?
Well, the earlier period is when the first one was established, and that was established by philanthropists in Pennsylvania for free Negroes, Cheney, which is Cheney State University today in Pennsylvania. Lincoln University in Pennsylvania is another one. And these universities were started by philanthropists, white abolitionists and others who believe that blacks should also have equal access to education.
Very good. Of course, Dr. Lovett, we've got about a half a minute left in reference to this particular show here, but let me thank you for bringing that information by, because we've had an opportunity on many occasions to talk to you almost about every issue dealing with the African experience in the United States, but now in order to bring all of this information together, I'm glad that you were able to talk about the historical black colleges as an entity rather than to simply separate them all and to make some conclusions in reference to it, and I know that they are worthy conclusions. And of course, during this last few seconds, let me encourage our audience to look in on Dr. Lovett and some of his productions, and to stop by some of these bookstores and pick up Historical Black Colleges by Dr. Lovett. And let me also encourage you to tune in again next week for another informative edition of Comments. Thank you and good morning.